off turf, sort of a combination of the old and the new. And you're right, you have to harvest the turf well ahead of time and stock it to dry before you can hope to use it.
Little late to hear that, isn't it? I'm going to make a cup of something hot, because it's getting colder by the minute, standing here and listening to you give me the history of heating in Ireland. Maura stalked over to the stove, which she had managed to make work, and poured the water she had boiled into a metal teapot, inherited from old Mick, along with the mismatched plates and cups, and threw in a couple of tea bags.
Fair enough. You have the fireplace, and you can buy fuel at most petrol stations around here. You have your choice of wood, coal, or turf, or mix some of them.
Okay, that's progress. Is one better than another?
Turf doesn't give off much heat. Wood and coal are better, but you've another option as well.
Which is? Maura stuck a spoon in the teapot, swirled the tea bags around, then poured one mug for Mick, then one for herself, to which she added sugar. She handed Mick his, then clutched her own with both hands. Mick nodded toward the stove.
There's your heat.
Huh? Maura knew that in the poorer areas of Boston, people had been known to turn on the oven and leave the door open, assuming that gas and power were still connected, but she didn't think that applied here.
Did you not wonder what those other dials were for?
No. I don't do much cooking. I've figured out how to turn on the burners in the oven, but that's about it.
The other side's the heat, at least for this room. And if you leave the door between open, the other down here. Mick never thought it was important to heat the upstairs rooms beyond whatever heat made its way up there. He had few overnight guests, as you might guess.
Okay, Maura said dubiously, looking at the hulking stove in the corner next to the immense fireplace. So why isn't it warm?
For a start, you've not turned it on. And probably the oil tank's dry. Mick only bought as much as he thought he needed.
I have an oil tank? Maura asked.
You do, out back.
Great. Now she felt doubly stupid. And how do I fill that?
I can give you the number of an oil service. You can talk to them about how much you might need for the winter. They know this type of building well.
Is that what Bridget's using?
Much the same. I see that her tank's topped up, but I don't fill it. There are those who are down and out who think nothing of siphoning off a bit, even from an old woman.
That's a shame. Does my tank have a lock?
It might do. I haven't looked at it lately. But odds are anyone who is set on getting into it could do it easily enough. Was there anything else you needed to know? Plumbing, wiring?
Well, so far I've got light and hot water, and I've been billed for the power. The lawyer who helped me out with Mick's will set that much up for me.
And you've a well for water, so no water rates. It's really a simple system, you know.
Maura sighed. I figured it was, but I'm not mechanical. And as I'm sure you've noticed, I don't spend a lot of time here, particularly by daylight, so I usually don't think about it. Thanks for explaining things.
No problem. I'll go pop in on Bridget now.
Does she know about John Tully?
I guess her friends have told her by now. She won't admit it to me, but she spends a fair amount of time on the phone chatting with them.
Does she know the Tully family, or is she related to them in any way? Because most of the people around here seem to be connected somehow.
Not that I recall. She'll be remembering that last time, though.
That was really sad. I can't understand any man killing his own child. That's not right. Was there something about the isolation of the Irish countryside and the endless hard work of running a farm that caused depression severe enough to lead to something like that? She hoped not. The man had had a wife, and from what Maura had seen, people looked out for each other around here.
It was that, but by all accounts this is different. John's a steady man, and he loved that boy. Well, all the children, and the wife as well. The farm was doing well. Maybe the child was shed some light on it.
The kid's 3, Maura protested. What could he know?
Have you no memories from that time of your life?
Only patchy ones. I wish I had known my parents, but my father died not long after I was born, and my mother dumped me on my grandmother and disappeared. My grandmother assumed from the start that my mother, Helen, was not cut out for motherhood, or working.
You've never tried to find her?
Mick asked. What for? She made her choice. And until Gran died, she knew where to find us if she wanted to, because we never moved. Anyway, you can't miss what you've never known.